Hello there, and welcome to the Seth Lord YouTube channel. My name is Seth, and I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I've been a big fan of Star Wars since I was a young boy growing up in the 70s and early 80s. Then in the early 90s, I read this book, Dark Force Rising, the second book in what is known as the Thrawn trilogy, which reignited my passion for Star Wars, which has grown stronger and stronger ever since. I was a big fan of the EU, which brought me into the wider Star Wars universe. My favourite character is Boba Fett, which you will notice when you see the rest of my collection. I also like to collect things that are trooper related, both clone and stormtroopers. My favourite Jedi is Obi-Wan Kenobi. So please come with me on a tour of my collection, and I'd love to know what everyone thinks. Alright, let's go. Okay, well here's my prequel and Clone Wars shelf for my Black Series figures. So we start off up here. We've got the bad guys, and then we move over to the clones, and I've got a couple of Jedis in the middle there. Then down on this shelf here, so this is the Rebel shelf that I have for the original trilogy. And then down here, this shelf here, this is a Mandalorian expanded universe, other characters that aren't really connected to any sort of group. And down here, these are the smaller 3 3/4 inch figures. Again, this is a prequel and Clone Wars Republic era shelf. As you can see, I like a lot of the clones. And again, split up between the bad guys, Jedi's in the middle, and then clones on the end. This lower shelf here, this is my sequel trilogy. And again, we've got the First Order on this side, and then over here, we've got the Resistance characters. And in the middle, just some characters that won't really link to either group. Then down here is just some of my larger figures and creatures. So we've got a Gungan battle wagon here. Then we've got young Padawan Obi-Wan in a speeder. One of the big fish things from the Phantom Menace. And then this little diorama type set thing here of the scene when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are fighting the battle droids. At the beginning of Phantom Menace. Okay, then this is my Imperial shelf for my Black Series figures. So I've got troopers over here on the left hand side. Then in the middle there I've got the Scout Trooper on the speeder bike. Got some sort of EU type characters here from different of the Gaming Great sections. Then over here I've got all the officers. So I've got Tarkin, Piet, Veers, Thrawn, Moff Gideon, Krennic, and Admiral Rampart from the Bad Batch, and just a Death Star trooper there. And I've got Vader in the back there, but he's not actually a Black Series figure. Then down here is the sequel trilogy shelf. So I've got the First Order on the right hand side over here. All the different troopers and a couple of Kylo Rens, Captain Phasma in the middle there. Then I've got the Sith troopers, and then over here we've got the heroes or the Resistance characters, if you like. And then down here we've got some sort of diorama-y type things. We've got Vader from the beginning of A New Hope. And then we've got Kylo Ren and Rey fighting each other. And then we've got Luke on Hoth. And I've got a couple of the Episode 1 figures at the back there. Qui-Gon Jinn and Jar Jar, everyone's favourite character. And then down here, this is my 3 3/4 inch original trilogy characters. And I've sort of got this in chronological order. So starting off with A New Hope on Tatooine, then on to the Death Star, and then to the Battle of Yavin. And then we move over to Empire Strikes Back, starting off with Hoth, and then moving on to Bespin, the bounty hunters in the back there. And then we move over to Return of the Jedi, and again starting off with Jabba's Palace, and then moving all the way up to Endor and the Battle of Endor. And in the back here, some of my original figures, the original Kenner figures from back in the 70s and 80s. So I've got an original Stormtrooper, Scout Trooper, Royal Guard, Imperial Officer, the AT-AT Commander, or General Veers, the Cloud Card Driver, Boba Fett, and Lando. And there's a Tusken Raider, or Sand Person, down there as well. And then this lower shelf here, so this is sort of more Disney era. So we start off over here with Rogue One, a couple of Solo characters, some Mandalorian characters at the front there, a few EU type troopers in the background there, the EU Thrawn and Talon Card figure. Also got the Boba Fett from the holiday special. And then over here I've got the Rebels figures. They're very hard to find these days, I find. And down here, just some odd things, some Mr. Potato Heads, the Escape from the Death Star game, and a couple of other little figures and everything. So as I said earlier, I was a big fan of the EU back in the day. So here's most of my books. I think there's a few missing at the moment. A couple of Jedi Starfighters. This is a Mace Windu one that I made. I just painted it purple. I think it was originally an Anakin one. And then I've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi version as well. And a couple of little Wedge Antilles. And a TIE Fighter pilot there. And some old lolly jars that were back in the day, back in the 90s. And then down here I've got the Trooper Transport that was in The Mandalorian and in Rebels. It's actually got Rebels figures in it at the moment. They're the only spare troopers that I've got at the moment. And a couple of C-3PO head popcorn things, I think they were, when I went and saw the Rise of Skywalker. And an old 7-Up can back from the Phantom Menace days. A little Grogu plushie there. And then down here, a couple more Force Awakens figures. Some of the newer books. And then a couple of the Resistance figures. They weren't really sold much here in Australia. I found these by accident, and I wasn't a big fan of the series, but I thought they looked pretty cool as toys, so I've bought those as well for the collection. And then the Hot Wheels Boba Fett car, because obviously I'm a Boba Fett fan. And up here on top of my computer desk, I've got some of my larger items and some of the Lego. Not a big Lego collector, but I've bought some, and I've got some as gifts over the years. So I've got the big Boba Fett there, and I've got Obi-Wan and Grievous fighting each other. And I've got a bit of a Scout Trooper collection going on here. So the Lego speeder bike with the Scout Trooper, the Lego Scout Trooper helmet. I can't remember what these large figures were called, but they were plentiful back in the day. And I've got a Stormtrooper Lego clock and a Darth Vader light. Got a little Grogu there. Captain Phasma. And the Walker from Rebels. Then down here, sort of a bobblehead Pops type shelf. Again, not a big Pops or bobblehead collector. but I did like this set here with the Imperial troops. We've got a Rex and a Commander Gree and one of those little McDonald's Happy Meal toys. Then of course Boba Fett, and we've got Finn and Kylo Ren back there, and some Galactic heroes of again Boba Fett and Dengar. And then over here in this little cabinet here, I've just got some of the little minifigures and some of the smaller Lego weapons and ships. Another little Death Star gunner set there, and Darth Vader Sensi thing, and a Episode 1 poster. Okay, in this cabinet here I've got the Mandalorian helmet, the Black Series one, and a couple of tiki mugs that were on sale recently. And then over in this cabinet here I've got the Lego Grogu, and I've also got the box to go with it as well, which looks great. Okay, now we're in a different room. This is a room that will hopefully one day be my theatre room, which will house my more Grail type items, such as the Hot Toys and Sideshows figures, helmets, lightsabers, artwork, things like that. So in this cabinet here we've got Commander Wolf and one of the Wolfpack Troopers. Then down here we've got the fairly new Commander Cody from Hot Toys, which is a fantastic figure with an amazing head sculpt. And then we've got the old Sideshow Waxer and Boyle with Numa from those couple of episodes in the Clone Wars. Then down here I've got a Phase 1 Clone Captain and a Republic Shock Trooper. And then down here we've got Cad Bane in the disguise also from the Clone Wars. And then over here we've got a couple more Boba Fett's. We've got the prototype Fett and a Boba Fett statue from Empire Strikes Back on Bespin. And then up here we've got the Imperial Shock Trooper and a TIE Fighter pilot and a Flame Trooper Black Series figure from the Mandalorian. And then up here we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi, or old Ben Kenobi, and then we've also got the Mythos version of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a great figure as well. And then down here we've got some of my helmet collection. I've got a Sand Trooper, I've got the Flame Trooper, the First Order Trooper, regular Stormtrooper, got the Boba Fett, and the red Captain Cardinal, I think he was called, First Order Trooper. And I've got a little R2-D2 robot thing down there. And then over here I've got the Imperial Shock Trooper helmet. This room's a bit of a mess at the moment, but all the boxes and some of my lightsabers, a few Nerf guns and things like that are in here as well. But at the moment it's a bit of a storage room, and hopefully one day this will be a proper theatre room with a nice setup. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tour of my collection. It's not the biggest by any means, but I'm pretty proud of it, and it's always growing like I'm sure everyone else's is. Yeah, so if you liked what you've seen today, please subscribe. There'll be more content to come. If there's anything that you've seen in the collection that you'd like a little bit more detail or a video on or anything like that, happy to take some advice and see what everyone's interested in. Looking obviously to grow this channel, and yeah, it'd be great to if everyone could come along for the ride. Um, Obviously, I'm new to this, as you can probably tell. Hopefully, things will get better as we go along. And yeah, thank you for your time again. And may the force be with you. And see you next time.